Hey everybody, it's Matt from Spine Designs and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going through the process of carving and building Pennywise from the movie It. Spooky season's upon us, Halloween is just around the corner, and this guy will be the centerpiece for my haunted house this year. So I've got a Onefinity CNC and I think I'm going to carve one out of one sheet of MDF, and we'll show you how it's done. And this is what I'm going to build. Okay, first things first, looks like we're going to do a little supply run, so off to Home Depot we will go. Now I'm planning on doing this off of one sheet of 3/4 inch MDF, and my machine does 48 wide by 32 inch tall. So I've got one sheet of 3/4 inch MDF here, and I had Home Depot cut it into 3 pieces for me, which is perfect because it works out to be 3 equal sheets of 32 inches by 48. So now I'm just going to load them up in the car, head back home, and then we're going to start designing this thing. And now we've got it back home, bringing it into the shop. Shop's not very big, but it does the trick. Next thing we got to do, we're going to start designing. So I've got this little image from Google, and then I'm going to start designing out what I'm going to cut on the Onefinity. So I've got this going in Procreate, and then I'll vectorize it. Those are my shapes there that I'm going to cut out. I've got it split up into 3 sheets. I've got the torso, the legs, both arms, and a couple shapes for the head and the hair. So this is what's going to happen on the Onefinity. Just starting up the machine, homing everything, dialing in the tool, and for this one I'm going to use a 1/4 inch compression bit and a V-bit to carve some details. So far so good. It's looking pretty good. This is sheet 1 of 3. That's the legs, 1 arm, and the head, I believe. And then I just brought it outside. You can see my wicked little table I've made of 3 water jugs. And I decided to try cutting it out with a jigsaw. Oh, that's a smooth one right there. Yeah, it wasn't that easy. I don't have a proper work table necessarily, so I kind of make do with what I've got, but this one worked okay. It took a little longer than I expected to cut out everything with the jigsaw, but it did what it was supposed to do. A little bit louder and a little bit noisier and dustier than I'd like. So there's the head, the face, the collar, one of the arms, a hand, and the feet. But on the next 2, I've decided I'm just going to use the machine to cut everything out instead of using the jigsaw. So here's sheet number 2 of 3, just getting that set up, ready to go, put it on there. Like I said, 48 by 32. Just used some pin nails to hold it down. And then let the machine do what it's going to do. And this one's cutting out the full torso. So I made Pennywise life size, about 6 foot, 6'1". So I had to make 3 sheets. The torso takes up 1 sheet, as you can see here. And then just vacuum out all the dust, and then cut the little tabs and pull the torso out. And then sheet number 3 is the other arm and the head. Again, same thing, just clean up all the dust, cut out the little tabs, take the pieces out, and I am ready for a dry fit to see how it all looks together. And there we go, as you can see, different layers. And he's pretty big. I think he comes out at 6'1". Now it's off to painting. Start with just sealing everything up with this exterior grade primer. Since it's MDF, it will be outside. I don't expect it to be exposed to a lot of moisture or rain, but I figure I'd try to protect it as much as I can. And now we're just adding some details to the arms, getting all the nitty-gritty pieces in there, trying to make it a little more realistic. Not too bad, he comes out. Here's his collar and his legs there in the inset, you can see. And the torso again, Just trying to make everything look copacetic, realistic. Now we're working on the face a little bit, doing some hair, makeup, as you can see, the clown makeup. Now, so some of the details on the face I want to do with paint and some markers, but then I also want to use the laser to add some other details. You'll see in a couple seconds here. The crackling skin on his forehead, if you know Pennywise at all, you can see it in a lot of the parts of the movie. So I used a laser to make a little jig to tell me where it's going to go, and then in Procreate again I drew out all the little cracks, and then I used that little outline to line up my face, and then use the laser, which is a JTech Pro 14 watt diode laser, which does a pretty good job of doing this kind of stuff, taking little paints off of things. And then yeah, I use that for doing some details. Something new. I've never done that before, so I want to try it out, and it came out pretty decent. Now just adding some details with some pens, some markers, and now it's glue up time. Putting everything together with some pin nails, glue, just to hold everything together while the glue dries. And then I'm going to attach the head with a cleat system. So here I am marking the back of the head to match the body so I can put my cleat system on. And then up to the table saw, just making a really rough cleat to match the size that I need. I don't like measuring things or doing math if I don't have to, so kind of just draw it on, eyeball it. And so far so good. Everything's lining up. And now I'm just attaching the cleat to the back of the head with some glue and some nails again. That way everything is removable, comes apart, 3 pieces. And there it is, final cleat. This is a little dry fit to see if it's going to work. And it just slides onto the back of the torso template I made there. And as you can see, it just hangs there, no problems. Now I have to do the same thing for the torso to fit onto the legs, and here I'm just using some 1-inch PVC piping, cutting that to about 5 foot, and then I'm going to attach that to the back of the torso with some furrier strips and some 1-inch PVC clamps. So I'm going to mark it. Don't mind that. Nobody should see that. Now I'm going to mark out where my PVC is going to go. And here it is with the little strips on the back of the torso. I'm attaching it to the back with the PVC clamps with a 7-inch gap in between. Gives it some rigidity, but it's still flexible enough that I can slide it over with no problems. And then everything lines up. And here it is, just placing the torso onto the legs, the head onto the back. And that's all she wrote. Let me know what you all think. Thanks a lot.